Hello, good morning. Welcome to another beautiful, fantastic week. My name is Vida Echetabu, the signpost. The conversations, have really been, getting a bit more intensive as the days and the weeks and the months and the years go by. And I trust that you're getting some meaningful value from the conversations week on week. So this week, we're going to talk about probably the fastest moving consumer good that is essentially non-edible, and we'll be talking about makeup. And I know that once you talk about makeup or you mention the word makeup, everybody's minds, most people's minds go to the first definition of makeup being cosmetics related, both male and female these days, where makeup, clearly I am wearing some makeup. The other two aspects that refer to makeup, that I will touch on subsequently, would be makeup in terms of you're making up a story. And the other option for makeup would be you are making up the difference. So now let's delve into it. Without spending too much time on the traditional version of makeup, the reason we wear makeup, or for the most part, there are many reasons, but for the most part, it's because we want to appear polished, groomed, meaning that our natural or bare face is insufficient within the context where we want to appear. I know that I have had sessions where I did it barefaced and it was appropriate at the time. And I'm sure I will still have subsequent versions where I will still do episodes barefaced, and it would be appropriate per time, But in this particular context, I wanted to appear a certain type way with a certain polish and finish, a certain finesse. And so I have applied my makeup and it goes appropriately with the rest of my outfit, because my bare face in this context would be insufficient to achieve that goal. Now, with regards to making up a story, that also now purports that the truth, the actual play of events is insufficient for you to present to whomsoever you are accountable to. And so for people in the workplace that are, maybe flying truant for whatever reason, they claim that their grandmother died and they had to quickly travel. They made up that story. Meanwhile, grandma probably died 10 years ago. But well, she's dead and she's dead. Nobody's going to go question the dead, And we have to just accept it. It is what happens. Somebody says, oh, I'm on the way, but along the way, bandits showed up around the streets and so I had to go back home for safety. Whether it is true or not is a different case, but that's a made-up story. Now, and the last one would be you make up the difference. So a lot of times we want to purchase things, but how much we have and how much is being charged, they're not at par. So you have to make up the difference. I hope we're coming along. We're understanding what I'm talking about. Now, for out of the three, for the most part, two are understandable. You make up the difference because needs and wants, you make up your bill, you make up things, you close the gap, you cover it up. Cosmetic wise, again, I've made up, like I mentioned earlier, because I want to appear in a particular way, in a polished, finished, particular way. Whereas, and those two are considered, we could consider them positive in this context. Now, the one that is the challenge is when you are making up a story. Clearly there is something wrong. Clearly, maybe for some reason you did not act expeditiously. You were not keeping your eyes on the ball. Something fell through the cracks. You got distracted. Something happened. And instead of telling the truth, you make up the story. Now, out of all three, for whatever reason, you have to, call up on any of these versions of makeup. One thing that is underlying across board is that there is an insufficiency in all three situations. If there was sufficiency, you would not need to make it up. And so, how do we handle the moments of insufficiency? When the pressures of life make you feel as if you're not good enough. You have to make up a story. You have to make up an appearance. And we see a lot of these things on social media these days. Let's even leave, social media in the traditional sense. Even in the business media and in the professional media, there's so much packaging, padding, so many technical truths, so many economic honesties about the place. People are conveniently misrepresenting, in such a fluid manner that there's just something wrong. It's because the realities, the truth, not their truth, the truth is not holding water. How do we deal with that? I would say that the first and foremost, the fundamental game changer in dealing with insufficiencies, because guess what? The needs of man, our wants are insatiable. So we're technically always going to be in the place of insufficiency. We're always going to be aspiring for more. When you get that house that you've always wanted, whether you are, self-driven or you are driven by societal pressures, or your neighbor has gotten a new house, or your colleague has moved abroad, or one thing or the other, you're now going, after a while, you're going to want more. It's no longer going to be sufficient for you. How do you deal with those things? You have a decent enough job, but your counterparts, everybody seems to be appearing on LinkedIn saying, join me as I start a new role, join me as I start a new role, and it's just magical. Everybody appears to be starting a new role. And I mean, hats off, and I celebrate everybody, but the conversation here is, how do you deal with those moments where you feel insufficient, inadequate, where your realities are telling you that you're in deficit, you're in deficiency, the amber or the red alarms are, clanging up and down the whole place? I would say contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you lack ambition. Contentment means that you are good with what you have and you are walking towards where you would desire to be. Contentment takes greed out of the picture. Contentment takes covetousness and all those other vices of jealousy and envy. It kills it, because you tell yourself, oh, that would be lovely to have. I'll have it one day. Now, I recall a story that happened to me around my birthday on Facebook. And we're very vulnerable when we're emotionally charged. And some random person who appears to be or used to be my friend on Facebook, I don't know who the person is. And you accept people sometimes when you look at who they know. And the person sent me a message and says, oh, I love the work you have been doing. I'm sure he's seen my videos, and I really want to celebrate you on your birthday. Please send me your bank details. I will credit you. I saw that message and I was like, oh, that's so nice. But I didn't know the person. And while everybody is looking for how to make a quick buck and everybody wants somebody to dash them something. Everybody wants somebody to, shake body for them, roger them this or something. And I'm not excluded from wanting people to celebrate me or dash me things. I'm not immune to it. But my sixth sense of contentment kicked in. Davida, you don't know this person. Do you want to take money from somebody that in future is going to show up now and become a problem to you? Are you not okay with the way the Lord has blessed you? You can actually celebrate yourself. Your family and friends and loved ones are already blessing you. And so I politely replied the person and said, oh, I'm so grateful for the consideration. I would rather you just say a word of prayer for me, and your goodwill means so much to me. And I left it alone. Fast forward to some months down the line, I actually heard that that's now a new hacking pattern from criminals on social media. They ask for your bank details. You legitimately provide it. If not, they won't have it. And somebody's account numbers, whatever, it just put them in a precarious, avoidable place. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the person who shared it was not content. But I am saying that in my scenario, it was my contentment, my decision to be content with what I had being celebrated with me that preserved me from that scenario. What is it that you're chasing? What are the insufficiencies in your life? If you're permanently making up stories, then maybe you need to look at some fundamentals and say, how can I stop making up stories and start telling the truth and let my truth be sufficient? So it means you have to fix the things surrounding your deliverables so that you are not telling stories. Where it is makeup, well, that goes without saying. You wear makeup as necessary. I would not look like this to go into a butero. I won't. First of all, the sweat is going to shift the makeup. The lipstick may be on my forehead by the time we're done with all that movement. It is what it is. And then for the needs, for the insufficiencies of balances in our account, for the things we desire and aspire to, let contentment be the foundation, be the bedrock on which your driving towards your goal gets there. The Bible says godliness and contentment is great gain. It's great value. So with Jesus, one thing you will learn, because God is not Father Christmas. There are many prayer points you and I are praying that the Lord has not answered yet. But He's using this waiting period to teach us to be content and grateful for where we are. And then when that answer comes, we go into a place of gratitude. Thank you for your time today. I hope that you'll join us in our next conversation. Have a fantastic week. God bless you. Bye-bye.